Welcome to the Sunday Supplement. This is Glasgow Rangers Nation. This is your everyday news channel, and I am Owen David, your host, guys. Smash that sub if you want free daily Rangers news. Guys, always remember here on the channel, it is always no Patreon, no paywall. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about a few different things this morning, or could be this afternoon, could be this evening, depends obviously when you're picking up the video. We're going to talk a little bit about Million Manhoff. What a name, who has been linked with a move to Rangers. Going to give you the latest on him. We're also going to talk a little bit obviously about yesterday's debacle at Parkhead. Yes, it wasn't a dreadful performance, but it wasn't a good performance. It was okay. They showed some fight in the second half and went down to 10 men. We'll get to that anyway. We will get to that. We'll also start perhaps a little look ahead to the game on the second coming up against Kilmarnock, which, I think will be a tough game. Killy are in a decent vein of form at this moment in time. But let's start with a little bit of transfer speculation and transfer rumour that is going around as regards Rangers. Now, look, as I put on the title of this video today, January is the key now, and 100% after yesterday's performance, after the fact that once again the defence let us down, once again Cyril Dessers can't hit a cow's arse with a banjo, and once again we are not clinical in front of goal enough. I think the options that we need to develop and bring on this squad and put us in a position to actually compete with that lot from across the city are quite evident now. Defence needs attention. We need a forward who can put the ball in the net on a consistent basis. Yes, we've got Fabio Silva, but I do think there is a need for someone else. Wingers are sadly lacking from this team as well. Now, who is Million Manhoff? What a name. What a name. I mean, just what a name. Incredible name. Anyway, here's what we know. His name is Million Manhoff. That is actually his name, Million. What his parents are thinking, God only knows when they named him that. But it's a name. He is from Beemster in the Netherlands. He's only 21 years old. So he's very much fits in with the player trading model. If he was to be signed, he's 21. Give him 2-3 seasons, does well in the SPL, scores goals, does well in Europe. Value goes up. Current value, according to Transfer Market, is around €3.5 million, which is probably about £3 million. He's currently with Vitesse Arnhem playing in the Eredivisie. So it does play to a reasonably good standard. Eredivisie, very similar in a way to the SPL as well, with the fact that, Feyenoord, Ajax, PSV very much dominate that league in the same way that us and that lot from across the city dominate this league. He can play in defence. He can play in as a winger. We'll talk a bit about his positions shortly. He started his youth career with Vitesse. All his senior career has been spent with Vitesse Arnhem. He's also represented the Netherlands at under 16 and under 21 level. Most recently under 21 level, where he's had some success, scoring 3 goals in 10 games. So absolutely no mug is Million Manhoff. Let's have a little look at his career. So in the Europa Conference League, he has played European football for Vitesse, making 2 appearances and has 1 assist. He's also played in the I'll try that again. The UEFA Europa Conference League qualifiers, where he played twice with 1 goal. The majority of his experience for Vitesse has come in the Eredivisie. So you can see that he's a player that is, although he is young, has got first-team experience, has got game experience, and has got experience at playing in one of Europe's better leagues. He has made 70 appearances for Vitesse in the Eredivisie, scoring 14 goals with 8 assists. That's 22 goal contributions in 70 games. Not bad for a 21-year-old. I mean, you look across his entire career, he's made 84 appearances for Vitesse, scoring 16 goals with 14 assists. So that's 30 goal contributions in 84 games. 3 yellow cards, 1 straight red card. He also represented and played for Vitesse under 17, under 19 and under 21 level. So as you can see, all his career has been spent with Vitesse Arnhem. So like I said, he is a quick, speedy winger, tricky winger. He is skillful. He is someone who can play in a number of different positions. that is something that, you know, you want to see. The modern hybrid footballer is the way forward, isn't he? That's what you know, clubs are now interested in, players who can play in a number of positions. And something we see, isn't it, when we look at Dujon Sterling, who can play right back, left back, centre half, and now central defensive midfield. So clearly, you know, no mug. So Manhoef, where can he play? Well, he can play right wing, he can play left wing, he can play left back, he can play left winger, he can play right wing back, left wing back. So he can fulfill a number of possible roles, which is all very positive, exactly what Rangers need. You know, if we look at his breakdown of his appearances this season, he's made 15 appearances this season, 4 goals, which is pretty decent return. Played in 88% of the starting 11s for Vitesse and played 84% of their minutes with a 33% goal contribution, which is pretty decent to be, you know, participating in a third of your team's goals. So, you know, he clearly is no mug. He clearly looks a very decent player. So could Million Manhoef, whatever he's called, that's how you pronounce his last name, apologies if not Million, be a signing for Rangers in January? Now, you know, personally looking at him, looked a bit of his, and I know everyone looks amazing on YouTube. He could probably make me look amazing on YouTube, but he looks a good player. And certainly the reports that are coming out of Arnhem about him and out of the Dutch under 21 setup are all very positive. So, Million Manhoef, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Well, look, we built up towards Kilmarnock. It is a game where we've got to win. It is a game where we've really got to, you know, try realistically and put behind us that dreadful result from yesterday. Look, Kilmarnock won't be easy. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Tuesday, the 2nd of January at Ibrox. So again, a chance for the crowd to really get behind the boys and cheer them on. I think the biggest thing we need to get into our heads, guys, is the fact that this league is not over and done with. It is nowhere near over and done with. Yes, they are 8 points clear now, but we have 2 games in hand. And as I said on the video last night, there's no guarantee we win those 2 games in hand. Of course, there isn't. It's Ross County. I think the other one is possibly. Actually, I don't want to say who the other one. I think the other one's Hibs. I think. Anyway. So those 2 games are games we need to win. Now, like I said, there's no sure things in football. No guarantee we win both those games. But if we do, we go to 2 points behind them. There are still all firm games to come. I don't think they're finished dropping points. The same way that probably we might as well. As Philippe Clement said, he's not an idiot. He's not a fool. He knows we will drop points at some point, which we did yesterday, unfortunately. Now, I want to address certain players and certain players' performances yesterday, first of all, before I just trying to finish off summarising the game. I want to start off by talking about these 2 here. Connor Goldson and James Tavernier. Now, to all the Tav fanboys out there and all the Goldson fanboys, I'm going to upset you. I apologise in advance. If you disagree with me, feel free in the comments, but keep it constructive. Now, Connor Goldson yesterday was absolutely shocking. 4 out of 10 at best. I mean, he allowed Kyogo to run off him once, something he allowed in the first Old Firm game. You know, he fell asleep there. Some of his passing today, his distribution, which, you know, in the past he's been very good at, was absolutely shocking. There was an incident in the second half where obviously we're down to 10 men because of Balogun sending off. They're down to 10 men because some of their players have gone off to be treated. The ball's in play. They can't bring their player back on until the game stops. Connor Goldson's got it at the back. All he's got to do is keep the game flowing, keep the game moving, and it's 10v10, giving us more of an opportunity. Yes, it's a limited opportunity, but it's still an opportunity. And what does he do? Smash the ball across the left side to God knows who he saw out there, and it goes straight out, and the player comes straight back on again. That's not the biggest thing, though. The Kyogo goal. Yes, it was a world-class strike from Kyogo, and fair play to him. He was a good goal. But let's deal with this. You watch Connor Goldson from that chance for Kyogo there that ends up in the back of the net. What does Connor Goldson do to try and prevent Kyogo from scoring? Absolutely jack all. Backs off him, doesn't even put his body in the line when the shot comes in, doesn't go to him, doesn't close him, just gives him all the time in the world to control and shoot, something obviously Cyril Dessers needs to learn. Look, I have defended Connor Goldson in the past, but for me, it's time to move on from Connor. He's not the same player he was a few years ago. His injuries, you know, he wasn't a player who got injured on a regular basis. He now is getting injured more often. It happens when you get older. Connor Goldson, I honestly think, is a decent backup at this stage. Is someone who can possibly come on and play in cup games or off the bench if needed. Don't think he's a starter. We do need to replace him, whether that's John Suter and we sign a left-sided centre-back, or whether we need to sign a right-sided centre-back. I don't know. That's for Philippe Clement, Niels Koppen and the football board. But for me, it's time to move on from Connor Goldson. Also, Connor Goldson, for me, is another one who is... And look, we talked about this mentality, didn't we? We talked about a change of mentality. We talked about a sea change in mentality the other day. But I think it seems we've gone back to Rangers of old, bottling it, giving up, games we've got to win, games we must win, and especially against that lot, just bottling it. And one of the primary people that does that on a regular basis, I don't think it's out because he tries to or he wants to. I think it's just so ingrained deep in him now he can't get out of it, and that is Connor Goldson. Now, Tav yesterday, look, yes, he scores that great free kick, but other than that, he was absolute unadulterated crap. His distribution was poor. His set pieces were absolutely shocking. That's his corners, his free kicks, his passing. He didn't get forward much. When Palmer was on, it was only when Luis Palmer came off that he actually managed to get forward and threaten. To me, he just looked a busted flush yesterday. He looked an absolute busted flush and just not good enough to captain Rangers. And another one of the problems. He is a problem. Yes, he steps up and scores goals, but then again, you telling me we can't find a number 10 who can do that? We can't find a striker who can do that. We can't find someone who can take penalties, who can take free kicks, which the majority of Tav's goals have been. I'll be honest with you. I think, you know, as great a servants as these two have been into the club in the past, it is time to move on from Tav and Goldson. Now, I want to touch on these two players here, Cyril Dessers and Todd Cantwell. Let's start with the easy one. Todd did not turn up again in another Old Firm game. He played very poorly. He messed around with the ball too much. He didn't distribute. He didn't create any great chances. He just did not look a decent player yesterday. Whether he's still not fit, I don't know. But even last season, he went missing in Old Firm games, which is something he has to get out of his system. Honestly, thought he was really poor yesterday. Really, really poor. And does need to up his game. And look, it's all very well and good him using social media, but you know what? If we wanted someone who was great at using social media, we'd have signed Lana Wolf rather than Todd Cantwell. So for me, Todd, you need to step it up, mate, because it just has not been good enough. And today, you were shocking. Fanning around, overplaying, letting them get back at you. Callum McGregor running rings around you. Just absolutely shocking. Just not good enough. Cyril Dessers. Look, I've tried to be nice to him. I've tried to get behind him after his recent goals. But he was just pure, unadulterated shit yesterday. He couldn't hold the ball up. He couldn't control the ball. He gave the ball away. He was offside. He gets through 1-1 with the goalkeeper. 18 touches and then completely messes it up. No conviction. No finishing touch. Just nothing there. I think there's another chance in the second half where he gets through and again he messes it up. He hasn't got the speed to worry defenders. He just, to me, looks... Yes, I know he scored a couple of goals, but he looks absolute rank rotten for me. Absolute rank rotten. He's not good enough to be a Rangers number 9. You know what? If you think Dessers is good enough to be a Rangers number 9, you've clearly lowered your standards substantially from where we used to be. Dessers is rubbish. He needs to be replaced. He needs gone as soon as is humanly possible. You know, like I said, not good enough. Needs replacing. Needs gone. One person who did really impress yesterday for me was Dujon Sterling. I did think that Dujon was absolutely fantastic. He battled, he fought. He seems to be really taking to that midfield role that he's been given by Philippe Clement, getting stuck in, bringing the ball out, good distribution. You know what? He never stopped battling. He never stopped fighting for that ball. And if the other 10 players had shown the same bottle as he showed, or 9 outfield players, shall we say, then I don't think that Rangers lose that game today. Yes, there was the penalty. Yes, there was the poor officiating. I don't want to talk about that now. I talked about that on last night's video. If you want to hear me talk about the officiating and the penalty, go back and watch last night's video. But look, whatever happens now, the league is not over. We continue to build. We continue to work towards the 2nd of January and then obviously the winter break, and more chance over that winter break to bring in some more players and for Philippe Clement to get his head round the squad a little bit more, put his ideas into them, and really get them playing to how he wants them to. Well, guys, let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of what we talked about. We will be back at 10:30 this morning for a video. If you're watching this in the afternoon or the evening, it was this morning. I went for this morning because I didn't think on New Year's Eve you'd really want to sit and listen to me waffle on about Rangers. That's why. So, but guys, please check it out. All donations, all support, likes, subscriptions, all welcome here at Glasgow Rangers Nation. And as always, on the way out, 2 jobs for me, please. Number 1 is to smash the like, as always. And number 2 is to remember we are the people.